this is Tank Pet Info. I got like a lot of fish. You can see the frog clearly right there hiding behind the upside down crocodile. You can see him under it. There's the dojo loach, the big catfish, and spotted rapala catfish near the pump, slash filter. And I see the frog right there. I have 3 of them. They're actually really active and fun to watch. I think that they are definitely very good pets. They're better than dogs or cats in my opinion. And if you like dogs or cats, I prefer that you don't watch this channel because it's not going to be about them. It's mostly about reptiles, amphibians, and fish because they're, in my opinion, cooler and easier to care for. Because for dogs, you have to walk them every single day. But there's one thing that's harder about reptiles kinda than dogs, because for reptiles you have to feed them live insects every single day, at least most of them. Maybe some crested geckos, not all, but most. The picky ones may eat Pangea diet, reptile diet, which is very nutrition, but definitely do your research first before definitely getting and telling someone to buy it for you or buying it yourself. Definitely do your research. This is not really information about their care yet. I'm just making clear that this channel is going to be a good channel. And oh, by the way, this is my aquatic frog pellet, tadpole, and frog food. It's Zoomed micro pellets. It sinks to the bottom. If you have African dwarf frogs, I'll definitely recommend it. And I have an algae scraper, which is a tool used to scrape off algae onto glass. And the basics you need for aquarium are substrate, which is the green, purple, and blue substrate I have. And then you need decorations and hiding spots for your fish. And finally, the pump and filter, which is located here, that make oxygen and bubbles in the water to help the fish breathe oxygen. And it's optional for a thermometer. I mean, I don't know honestly what it's called, but it just measures the temperature of the tank. And looks like it's 80 right now. That sounds pretty hot, I guess. Oh, here's a frog activity. They like to burrow, kinda. Okay, maybe not burrow, but they like to go under things and then move under them. African dwarf frogs use their webbed feet to go in the water because not all frogs have webbed feet. Only the ones that are semi-aquatic or fully aquatic, like African dwarf frogs, have paddles. Webbed feet. But dart frogs and other frogs like Pac-Man frogs and all those frogs probably don't have webbed feet because they don't swim in the water at all. They're mostly terrestrial frogs. But of course all amphibians have a slimy layer on their body. You might have already touched a frog or a toad and said, "Ew, this is a slimy substance over the frog." No, this is actually good for them to keep their body moist and wet. That's good. That's why terrestrial frogs don't have to go in the water much, because but if any frog loses a large amount of its substance, it will dry out and die because they need all of their substance across their body to keep them, of course, to keep them wet, and that's what helps African dwarf frogs and other frogs stay wet and stay alive. And for fish are pretty easy to keep. The only hard thing is water changes, or else the only other thing you have to do is feed them, which isn't that hard to do. All you have to do is feed them daily, actually, depending on the species. Some you have to feed every 3 days or 2 days, or maybe some daily. Maybe for some monster fish you would have to feed live food because they're real monsters like arowanas. Not Oscars. I used to have Oscars when I was kind of young. I mean, not young. I'm the same age as I am now, but I meant like a year ago. I had Oscars in this tank, and that was the biggest mistake I've ever made. Because then, right after, I figured out why did I do that? Because Oscars need a minimum of 75 gallons. I was really disappointed of myself when I did that. And when the Oscars died, I never bought Oscars again, and I only bought fish that were appropriately sized for a 36-gallon tank. I think you should do the same. And by the way, if you didn't know, goldfish, the one people keep in small bowls, they can get up to a feet with proper care. And they also need a minimum of 75 gallon for adults. Actually, they can get a pretty long and to live a long life. But people put them in bowls, and then they call them weak. But the only reason they keep dying so fast is because their tank is too small. Oh, so you can see the dojo looks going by really fast. The first when I bought the African bullfrogs, the dojo goats was kind of attacking them. But now, after a few weeks, plus I think a month, probably exactly a month, they're actually being compatible. Because every time the frogs are in the dojo goats' way, he kind of sucks them. But now he just kind of avoids them. Same with the frogs. They learn to avoid him. Now it's kind of a compatible tank. And the Raphael catfish doesn't really do much. And it's nocturnal, so I don't really see him that active. Because all he does is sit there all day and not move until it's nighttime because they're nocturnal. And he's probably sleeping now. It's really close to nightfall, so he's probably gonna come out soon. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is just an introduction video, and see you next time for a second video. Definitely watch the second video coming up, tank pet info, and bye.